Hi, I'm Kyle Phillips, and for our project we chose to use an industrial grade proximity sensor to illuminate a street light to scale. So, for our project we chose a SICK WT24-2R210 prox sensor, and this is the given wiring diagram for the sensor. When we first started the project, we had some problems figuring out what to do with these 5 ports. So to break it down, 1 is your line 1 or your input line, so your positive source. N is your negative, which is our second port here. That goes right to ground. 3, 4, and 5 are your switch sensors, and that depends on whether or not the switch is open, closed. Here we see port 4 is normally closed, port 5 is normally open. Here's the exact breakdown for how the switch works. Moving on, here's a different diagram, which is a lot easier to interpret. And so here 1, this is actually our positive source, as you can see from the battery, even though we used plugged into the straight wall. Port 1 goes up to port 3, meaning we had to throw a jumper in from port 1 to port 3, because port 1 and 2 essentially just power the prox, but then we have a bulb in our circuit, so we have to include a jumper to port 3 to supply power to the bulb. And upon tripping the switch, switch 5 closes, so in our actual sensor we have a wire coming out of port 5, so we have a positive source here, negative or ground here, we have a jumper from 1 to 3, and then 5 powers our bulb, and then the negative of the bulb just goes straight to ground.
Another diagram to explain the circuit shows our 5 nodes in order. It's a little bit easier to relate to the actual sensor itself. Here we have our battery. It goes directly to node 1, which is our positive. There's a jumper to 3, which goes to 5. We're using 5 because that's our normally open node, and we're not using 4 in the circuit unless we were trying to create a normally closed circuit. 5 goes to the positive of our light bulb. The negative of the light bulb goes to 2 and the negative of the battery.
Alright, and here is our project. So we have this is what we use. It's like a jumper for your car battery to charge your battery. We use it because its output is 12 volts DC, which pertains to this class. Here we have our SICK photo sensor. It's infrared, so it registers in day or night. And then we have it, how we explained wired up on the board. So here's our car for our example. Car comes down the road and triggers the light until it leaves. Again, just car comes in, triggers the light. Once it leaves, the light shuts off, saving energy. It's a lot more efficient than, say, street lights that run all night when there's no vehicles present. And it is infrared, so it does work at nighttime too. So here again, we have the car coming in, triggers the light until the car leaves. Car triggers the light, car leaves.